Hello and welcome to this episode of the Bubbs on Sports podcast. Today is Wednesday, June 7th. Hope you guys have a day so far and had a good rest of their day yesterday. We've got a lot to get into today here on a Wednesday program. Coming off of a rough night last night in New York baseball. If you're a Yankee fan, you're obviously disappointed in the performance as they lose 3-2 to a struggling, not really good Chicago White Sox team without Aaron Judge. Judge now hits the IL with a toe injury due to the obviously running into the wall in LA over the weekend on Saturday. So he'll hit the IL. Hopefully nothing major. We'll see if the Yankees even play tonight. The air conditions in the tri-state area are not good with the wildfires going on in Canada and all that stuff. So we'll even see if the Yankees play tonight. We've heard that they are playing, and then just a couple minutes ago, I don't know how true the report is, but I heard that the Yankees are probably going to get postponed. It's just a matter of an official announcement. So I guess we'll kind of wait and see, on that and what happens there. But the Mets dropped the first game as well of a 3-game set down in Atlanta in a game where they took a lead. They got an early lead and they were up 4-1, and then they blew it and they lose 6-4. So a really tough loss for the Mets. One of those losses as a Met, as a Met fan where it's like it's a typical Mets loss. You put up some runs on offense, defensively, the McNeil play in left where he bobbled the ball 3 separate times, couldn't get a firm grip on it, couldn't throw it in. Every time he tried to throw it in, it would fall out of his hand. It was like it was a greased ball. So that was a rough thing to watch if you're a Mets fan, and a tough loss there in game 1 of a 3-game set. So we'll get into that as well a little later on. We've got a lot to get to today, though. A lot of stories to break down throughout the MLB. Yesterday was a very eventful day in the MLB. We've got 2 big stories to get into. We're going to be talking Alek Manoah, Blue Jays star, or supposed to be their big star pitcher who came off of a really good rookie year last year. His second year in the league, I should say. Pitching to a 2.24 ERA. Said a lot of trash in the offseason. Talked a lot of garbage. And is off to a horrific start. And they optioned him to the Florida Complex League. So we'll get into him. We'll get into Jacob deGrom as well. The terrible news about Jacob deGrom is he's done for the year with Tommy John surgery. He'll be done for the season. Does deGrom even come back? What is his future of his career? Forget his playing days in Texas. What's the future of his playing career in general? So we'll get into deGrom as well. We'll obviously also get into a little bit of Luis Arraez. He's batting over 400 right now. And not many times do you see a guy playing at that high a level contact-wise. Luis Arraez is putting on an absolute clinic this season with another multi-hit night last night. He is now batting over 400 on the year, and this is going to be something to track throughout the regular season. Can Luis Arraez finish the year with an over 400 batting average? Definitely something to keep an eye out on. I also want to get into Aaron Judge hitting the IL as well, as the Yankees lose their big slugger in the lineup. And who do the Yankees call up? Do you call up Cordero? Do you call up Florial? I would like to see you call up Florial. I would like to see Florial get a little bit of burn here. He hasn't gotten many opportunities over the past couple seasons. He's been up and down, up and down, up and down. Let's see a little bit bigger of a sample size. Give him 2-3 weeks up at the majors. Let's see what he can do. So we'll see how the Yankees go and what they do from here as they try and just tread water here without Aaron Judge. It's unfortunate. You get Stanton back, you get Donaldson back, you get all these guys back, and now he's done for the year. Or not done for the year. Now he's on the IL. So it's tough. It's unfortunate, but we'll see how it all plays out. So anyway, with that being said, we got to get into the news today. A lot of news yesterday in the baseball world. You have Alek Manoah getting optioned. You have Jacob deGrom being diagnosed, done for the year, was on the IL for a while. Then they transferred him to the 60-day IL. So the earliest he can come off of it was June 28th. And then yesterday, you hear the news that he's done for the year, Tommy John surgery. You feel for him. He's such a good, talented player, was one of the best pitchers in baseball, was the best pitcher in baseball when he was healthy. Health was the biggest issue. And again, it comes in to bite him, and, he can't stay healthy. He now gets Tommy John, and you start to wonder, what does the future of his career look like? Will he be able to come back? Will he be anywhere near the same pitcher he once was? So we'll get into that as well, along with Luis Arraez. But we got to start off here with Alek Manoah. As yesterday, the Blue Jays, after an embarrassing performance on Monday to the Houston Astros, in which he didn't even get out of the first inning, the Blue Jays have gotten, not rid of, but they've optioned Alek Manoah to the Florida Complex League. So they've sent him down to the minors. They optioned him after such a good year last year. His numbers this season have been abysmal. And I'll give you his numbers on the Monday start against Houston. He pitched a third of an inning, 7 hits, 6 runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, no strikeouts. He threw 38 pitches and was out of there. Allowed 6 runs, 7 hits, and a home run before even getting out of the first inning against Houston. So these are Alek Manoah's numbers on the year. He's 1-7 with a 6.36 ERA. He's got 48 strikeouts, a 1.90 whip. He's got 42 walks on the year, which is just crazy. He's 13 starts into the season, and he's got 42 walks. He made 20 starts in his entire rookie campaign, and he had 40 walks. He had 51 walks last year in 31 starts. Through 13 starts, he's already got 42 walks. He can't locate the zone. He's walking too many guys. Guys are getting on base. They're driving in runs. They're crushing balls off of him. He has been pathetic, to say the least. Opponent batting average of .289 this year against Alek Manoah. And he's already allowed 11 home runs after only allowing 16 last year in 31 games started. And a 16-7 record. He's already 1-7 this year. So they optioned him to the FCL, the Florida Complex League, just to give you his numbers last year and to show you how poor he's been. 31 starts last year, as I mentioned, 16-7, a WAR of 5.9. His WAR is into the negatives this year, just to give you that. 2.24 ERA, a whip below 1 at .99, 196 and 2/3 innings pitched, 180 strikeouts, 51 walks, 55 runs, 49 earned. Had a 2.24 ERA. Very good year for Alek Manoah last year. Comes into this season, you've got the comments, after his first start of, pressure is what you put in tires. If he was feeling any pressure at all. You go back to the incident last year with Aaron Judge, when he hit Judge, and Judge took a little bit of an exception to it, and he said, Garrett Cole, if he thinks he's a big tough guy, he can walk past the Audi advertisement on the first baseline, and we can talk and all that stuff. He acted like he was this big tough guy, and now look, Alek Manoah. Boy, who's the big tough guy now? You got a 6.36 ERA. They didn't even option you to AAA. They didn't option you to AA. They optioned you to the Florida Complex League. Enjoy your stay in Florida. I'm not one to root against guys. I'm not one to hate on guys. But if you want to talk all the trash, if you want to say a bunch of garbage, and you want to be a loudmouth like Alek Manoah was, you got to back it up on the field. And he said a lot of trash this offseason. Said a lot of trash going into this season. Talked a lot of trash during this rough start. Now who's talking trash now? You got optioned. You're one of the worst pitchers in baseball this year. You're walking guys left and right. Guys are teeing off on you. Opponent are hitting .289 against you this season. You've got a 6.36 ERA. And look, again, I'm a fan that, I don't like to, again, you understand, these guys are they're all humans at the end of the day. You don't have to like a guy, but you want to make, you don't want to get personal with it, but this couldn't have happened to a better, it really couldn't have, player, because, again, you want to talk trash, you want to be a trash talker and all that stuff, that's fine. You got to go back it up on the field. And as a sports fan, I don't mind the trash talking element. I really don't. I think it brings a lot of energy to the game. I think it, especially in baseball, I think it gives baseball a little bit of a kick in the butt as to, got some guys trash talking, got some guys. It doesn't have to be so much trash talking, but even just, joking around back and forth, maybe taking, little some shots at each, guys. That's all fine. But when you go to the extent he went to, talking trash about Cole, talking trash about, the Yankees as a whole, saying things like, pressure's what you put in the tires, acting like you're this big tough guy, you're the number one pitcher in baseball, to get optioned, it's got to be a little bit of a wake-up call to him. You want to talk trash, that's great, you got to back it up. Alek Manoah did not do that. He did the complete opposite of that. And when you look at his season breakdown, he had a 3.86 ERA in April, which wasn't very good, obviously. But it wasn't horrible, right? Then you go into May, and he was horrific. 6.15 ERA. Was better in April. Was really bad in May. And I mean, geez, do we even talk about the June start against Houston on Monday? That's what put the Blue Jays over the edge. And I'll tell you this. Look, you can trash talk all you want, but at the end of the day, I think the Blue Jays have to realize this too. He's got to calm down a little bit. You could trash talk, you could say all your garbage, but, maybe save the trash talking for when you can go out there and put competitive starts together before you start opening up your mouth and saying all this stuff. So, Alek Manoah, Florida Complex League. What are we doing here? Alek Manoah, the guy that says so much garbage, is gone after an abysmal start to the 2023 MLB season. So that's the first topic here. Next up, we heard that Jacob deGrom is getting season-ending Tommy John surgery. He'll undergo Tommy John surgery to repair a torn UCL in his right elbow. Evan Grant was first to report this yesterday. He covers, the Rangers and all that stuff for the Dallas Morning News. So he was the first to report this yesterday. And again, deGrom hasn't, made a start this season since April 28th, which was the Yankees start, as we all remember. That's when he hit the IL. He left that game after, three, and I think he only threw 3 2/3, 2 strikeouts. Left the game with an arm injury, was feeling some pain. He's been on the IL ever since. Missed the entire month of June, missed, so far the few days here in June, or month of May. He's missed a couple days here in June already. And then we heard yesterday that, or the other day, that he was being transferred to the 60-day IL, and he would be retroactive, obviously, to his first time on the IL. So it was June 28th would be the first time he'd be able to come off of it, and then a couple hours later, you hear he's hitting the IL for the season. He's getting Tommy John surgery. And look, when you look at this Texas Rangers team, they've had a very good year. They've put together a really good season, for the most part, without Jacob deGrom, who has only made, obviously, 6 starts for them. But, again, we went into this season, we went into this move, we talked about this move, was the biggest concern with deGrom is the injury, the health. When this guy's healthy, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. For a while there, he was the best pitcher in baseball. And up to this point in this season, through 6 starts, he's got a 2.67 ERA. He had a whip of .76. He looked like the Jacob deGrom everyone kind of knew. He had that big start against the A's. Yes, they're not very good, but he struck out 11. He struck out 11 earlier in the year against the Orioles. After that first start of the season, in which he pitched really poorly against the Phillies, he looked good the rest of the way. He looked good during that Yankee game before getting pulled out. And then he goes down with an injury. When this guy's healthy, he's one of the dominant pitchers in the sport. The biggest issue is he can't stay healthy. And this is now going to be his second Tommy John surgery. He's going to be 35 in a couple weeks. June 19th, he'll be 35. And you start to wonder, it's disappointing. It's upsetting as a baseball fan. I always liked watching deGrom. He was always a ton of fun to watch. Just how dominant he was. You go back to 2018 and he had a 1.70 ERA. 2019, 2.43 ERA. 2020, 2.38 ERA. 2021, 1.08 ERA. But as the ERA was good, the starts continue to drop. And when you look at deGrom throughout his career, you look at the games he started per year, it's gone down. 22 starts, 30, 24, 31, 32. 2020, he made all 12 starts. And then since 2020, 15 starts in 2021, cut short with injury. 11 starts last year. And this year, he'll only make 6 starts. So when you look at deGrom overall, in his last 5 years, or his last 3 years, I should say, he's only made 32 starts his last 3 years. That's something you do if you stay healthy for the entire regular season. Not something you do over the course of 3 seasons. And you wonder if this might be the end for deGrom. You really do, because second Tommy John, at the age he's at, this was a guy that when he was healthy was at the top of baseball. It's unfortunate. Now, if you're a Mets fan, obviously you feel terrible for the guy, but from a roster business standpoint of baseball, you got to be thankful that Steve Cohen didn't, make a big 5-year deal for DeGrom, and now he's going to miss all the rest of this season, and he's going to miss a really good chunk of most, if not all, of next year. I mean, we might not see DeGrom again until 2025 because he's going to miss the rest of this year. He's going to miss the majority of next season. He might be back, July, August next year, so he'll probably make 7, 8 starts next season, right? But we won't see DeGrom all ready to go until really 2025. That's how crazy you got to think about it. And is he going to be the same? Be 35, another Tommy John. It's going to take a toll. This might be the end for DeGrom. It's unfortunate. But again, just another guy that has been plagued by injuries. And you really wonder, you play the what-if game. If DeGrom never dealt with all these injuries, never dealt with all these health issues, these arm issues, you wonder if he continues on a consistent path of starting 27, 28, 30-plus games a year, he could have easily went down as one of the better pitchers of all time. I mean, he put together some historic seasons. He won back-to-back Cy Young Awards. I mean, this was a guy that was the best pitcher in baseball for a very long time. And the last 3 years, the injury plague has hit him, and it's hit him hard, and it's hit him as he's gotten older, and that doesn't help anything. Injuries to begin with don't help. They don't help when you're only getting older. And unfortunately here, it hits DeGrom again. So he's done for the year. Now, if you're a Rangers fan, obviously it's unfortunate. Now, the Rangers are still in a very good spot this season. They're 40-20. They're on a 5-game win streak. They're 8 into their last 10. They're hot. You got to thank the front office for bringing in guys like Nathan Eovaldi. He's really turned into a starter ace role. Martin Paris has put together a nice year. John Grace put together a very nice season. So you still have a very solid rotation, even without DeGrom. Obviously, DeGrom staying healthy makes it a really good rotation. You still have a very good rotation even without DeGrom. So the Rangers go out and bring in somebody else. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they approach this. But, man, oh, man, it's a big loss. And it's a big loss for baseball, too. I mean, a guy that, when he was healthy and getting the ball every 5 days, he was much-watched TV. He sold tickets. So, another tough injury there for Jacob deGrom. One other thing here to get to as well is Luis Arraez is done for the year. Or not done for the year, I apologize. Is on fire. He is currently batting .400. So here are the batting leaders currently in the MLB. Luis Arraez is batting .401. Bo Bichette's batting .332. Luis Arraez is about 69 points better than Bo Bichette. And Bo Bichette's having a great year. This isn't a knock on Bo Bichette. It's just more of a, oh my gosh, Luis Arraez is insane this season. It is wild what this guy is doing. Nowadays, you don't see many guys, in the modern day baseball, you don't see many guys hit the way they used to, where back then, obviously, there was a lot of contact guys. Now it's all launch angle, how high, exit velo, launch angle. It's all about that. That's the way they teach things now. High strikeout rate. If you can hit for power, if you hit home runs, you're going to strike out. That's fine. Teams are okay with that. The analytical approach in baseball now, all they want, launch angle and power, and that's what these teams look for. Luis Arraez is a complete 180 of that. This is a guy that does not hit for power. He hits for batting average. He gets on base, and I love it. I love when guys hit for contact. Sure, power's good. Sure, home runs are nice, and you need to have power hitters in your lineup, throughout, scattered throughout the lineup, obviously. But you got a contact guy like Luis Arraez, who's unstoppable like this. Nobody can get this guy out. He's batting .401, first in baseball. He's got his 7th best OPS in baseball at .946. He's already got 85 hits this year. I mean, what this guy is doing is unbelievable. And he's only 26 years old. I'm not going to go down to the hit 3,000 hits, but he's definitely on his way. If he continues to hit like this and continues to do what he's done. He led the league last year in batting average, right? The batting title in the American League. Batted .316. This year, batting .401. Always been a guy that hits high for average. But especially this year. His career slash line is .326, .384, .421, .805. This season, he's batting .401, .451, .495, .946. What a year so far, Luis Arraez. He's only struck out 11 times. He averages only 28 strikeouts a year, which is nuts. I saw a stat yesterday. In his career, he has more extra base hits, I think, or more double multi-hit games than strikeouts. In his entire career, he struck out 142 times. He has like 155 multi-hit games. A lot of guys strike out 200 times a year. He has struck out 142 times in his 5-year MLB career. It's unbelievable what this guy does. I mean, it really is crazy. To find his last strikeout, he struck out once the other day against the A's, June 2nd. He's only struck out like twice. He struck out 5 times in May. Only 5 times in May. Think about that. Guys will strike out 4 times in a game. He strikes out 5 times an entire month. And then he struck out 4 times in April, April. And he struck out once in June. It's crazy. I mean, so in April he batted .439. Last month he batted .330, and so far this month he's batting .565. It's just crazy what this guy is doing. His batting average is .565. It's unbelievable this month. He's 13 for 23. Let me give you Luis Arraez's last couple games. 5 for 5, 2 for 4, 3 for 4, 2 for 4. All this guy does is hit. He's a natural hitter. He's unbelievable. You look at that trade right now for the Marlins too, who are in second place in the NL East and making a potential run at a wild card spot in the National League. They're hot right now. 5-game win streak, 8-2 in their last 10, only 3 games back of Atlanta. The Marlins won that trade. You look back on that. Pablo Lopez he's been pretty solid. He's been all right for the Twins, and they're in first place as well. But Luis Arraez has been a lot better for the Marlins than Pablo Lopez has been for the Twins. Pablo Lopez hasn't been bad, but especially when they got Sonny Gray leading that rotation, he leads the team in strikeouts and stuff. But man, oh man, Luis Arraez has been even better. This is one of the better players in baseball right now in terms of just pure hitting, pure contact. So, and I don't think many people are taking the time to appreciate it. I find it funny because you get a lot of these baseball fans that they complain that guys are hitting for too much power. Guys strike out too much. We're witnessing a hitter that is pure contact, barely strikes out, batting .401 on the year. Highest batting average in the MLB by a mile. Chasing history to hit over 400 for the entire season. Something to watch this year. And yet you still have people out there saying, oh, all he does is hit singles. Like, what? Oh, all he does is, he doesn't hit for power. So, you get these people complaining that guys strike out too much. You get a guy 180 from that. It's like, come on, be happy. Find the median. Find the middle ground. So I'm loving it. It's been fun to watch. I pull up Marlins highlights just to watch this guy. I mean, what he does at the plate, it's crazy. Nobody can get him out. You can't get the guy out. So it's been a lot of fun to watch. All right, so now I move on here to Judge and the Yankees as well. It'll kind of be, a little bit of a combined segment here. Judge hits the IL with a toe issue, which is unfortunate. Second IL stint of the year, which, stinks. It's unfortunate. I don't want to hear the whole always injury prone stuff. I don't, because the first thing, this incident he took a chance. He put his body on the line for the team. It's gonna happen. It's a part of baseball. It's almost like when he dove in the playoffs and broke his ribs. He made a heck of a catch. Toe's banged up now, and he's on the IL. So we heard yesterday from Max Goodman, who does a great job covering the Yankees. Aaron Judge will go on the IL with a contusion and a sprain of a ligament in his toe. So that's what Aaron Boone said last night. It's unfortunate. It stinks. We were all holding out hope. Yesterday you heard that the Yankees were going to come to a decision on it. It was just a matter of when. You hear that decision is obviously, going to hit the IL. Hopefully, Boone said last night, we'll reevaluate in the coming weeks, and then he corrected himself and said the coming days. So it seems like this is going to be something that probably is a minor stint, just like his last IL stint. It doesn't seem like this is going to be a big month-long thing like Stanton's or like Donaldson. This seems like it's probably going to be something quick. But, again, you just have to look at these numbers again and just say, man, if Judge was not on the IL both these times, what would these numbers look like? I mean, he's batting .291. He's got 19 home runs, which is second in baseball. He's got 40 RBIs. He has the best OPS in baseball with a 1.078 OPS. And he's the best player in baseball, both offensively and defensively. What he puts his body on the line for, the plays that he makes defensively are phenomenal. He runs through the wall in LA, hits his foot on the concrete. Looks like it actually cracked the concrete. It's unfortunate, but the Yankees got to figure this out because without Judge, this team is... The bottom line is this. Without Judge, and there's been a lot of things to like from this Yankee team, but without Judge, this Yankee team is not the same. You take away Judge from this lineup, and they're You saw it last night. There's not much energy. Nobody's getting on base. I mean, it's flat. It's a flat lineup. So, who do they call up? Cordero or Florial? I'd give Florial another shot. I mean, he's had, about 15 at-bats in 3 years. He's barely got an opportunity. He's younger. He's going to walk. He'll probably, he'll get on base. He's going to strike out a lot, but he's going to work his walks. Kind of give Florial a last shot at trying something, doing something up here. He's been up here a couple times, never got consistent at-bats. You bring him up here for a week or two, give him some consistent at-bats, see what he can do. Florial is raking in AAA. He strikes out a lot, but he's going to bring power, and he's going to walk. That's what he's going to do, and he's going to give you some stuff defensively. I'd call him up for a little bit of a younger bat in the lineup. But, Oswaldo now is going to have to find a way to turn it around. It stinks it happens at this time in the season because you look at this point in the year and you say, all right, you got the Red Sox coming up, you got the Mets, you got the Red Sox again, you got some exciting series. To not have Judge is unfortunate. Not having Judge in the Subway Series is going to take a little bit of a wind out of it, no doubt about it. And you saw it last night. Other than Donaldson's home run, there wasn't much offensively. So Yankees just got to find a way to tread water. It doesn't seem like it's anything too major. Boone really didn't seem like it was. I mean, it's a contusion of the toe. I can't imagine it's going to be too long. I think I was looking last night. I'm not a doctor, but I think I saw something last night like turf toe is worse, and turf toe can be pretty bad. So it's not like turf toe bad, and it's not as bad as a broken toe. But I knew it too because you watched the clip. I knew it's something had to be wrong. Again, adrenaline. Woke up the next day really sore. Thank goodness it's not a broken foot. Easily that could have been a broken foot. Slamming your foot into the concrete at the speed he was going at, easily that thing could have been completely broken. His foot, forget his toe, his entire foot. And if that would have been the case, for months. I mean, he's out for months. He's probably not back. Broken foot. Geez, you're probably not back. It's probably at least 2 months. He's probably not back till like September. Probably misses all of July and August, to be honest with you. Plus rehab. So, good thing it's not a broken foot because he'd be out for, if it was a broken foot, you'd have to make a trade because Franchi Cordero and Estevan Florial aren't going to be able to do enough. Sure, they can fill in the lineup and be okay for the week or two that Judge is out, but you got to be at least happy or at least okay with. I knew he was going on the IL right when they gave him off the day against the Dodgers. I know it was the day before the day off, but the Yankees have a lot of. I know Boone likes to give guys a day off before the scheduled day off, but the Yankees have a lot of days off this month. They don't play a game on Monday. They have day off every Monday. And then next week, they got a day off Monday. They'll play 2 against the Mets, and they'll have a day off again Thursday. So they have a lot of rest days coming up. So I knew Boone benching Judge on Sunday was more of a he's sore, his toe's banged up, let's evaluate him type of thing, not, let's just rest him today. And if they were trying to rest him, take him off his legs, and he was healthy, they would have probably plugged him in at DH. Now, it does make it hard to put Stanton, obviously, in the lineup, but I guess that would be tough. Yeah, he's not going to put Stanton in the outfield. So, I guess that's probably Boone's thought process too, but you kind of knew something was up. So, tests come back. It's unfortunate. I don't know what's going to happen with tonight's game. Yankees tonight against the White Sox. I don't know if it's going to be played. I don't know if the Yankees are going to... What's going to happen with tonight's game? Obviously, with the wildfires in Canada, the air in the tri-state area, New Jersey, and then obviously New York as well, is really bad. It's like yellow outside. You see pictures of New York City, you see pictures in New Jersey and stuff like that of just, all of the yellow. I mean, even like New York, you see picture of New York City to like the Yankee Stadium. Guy posted a picture of it. It's literally orange. So it's not good. The air quality is really bad. I think it wasn't good. So I heard that they might cancel the game. It's nothing official, obviously, but they're talking to league office, stuff like that. You assume something's gonna have to come out soon because you're not going to want to do what you do with rain delay and, have all the fans show up to the stadium and cancel it at 6 when everybody's there. It's 3:37 right now. I'd assume an announcement probably has to come. It would be good if you announce it by like 4, If you don't announce it at least 4 or 5-ish when fans start going to the game, that's when you have an issue. But it's supposed to be Randy Vasquez versus Lance Lynn tonight. Now, if tonight's game doesn't happen, you probably assume you're going to have a double header tomorrow because the Yankees will obviously welcome the Red Sox in on Friday. So we'll see how that all ends up playing out. We'll see what happens tonight. It is Lance Lynn versus Randy Vasquez. So Vasquez making his second start of the season and his second start of his young MLB career. And as for the Mets and the Braves, they obviously lost last night. Both lineups are out already for both teams. It's Max Scherzer versus Charlie Morton. So that's taking place tonight between the Mets and Braves. Mets will look to even up the series. Charlie Morton, obviously, Scherzer, obviously, in his last 4 starts, 25 innings pitched, 1.03 ERA, 4 walks, 28 strikeouts. So he'll look to continue that tonight. White Sox posted their lineup. Yankees did not post theirs. So I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if that means they're playing. Rodon's throwing a bullpen session, though. I know that. Rodon's throwing a bullpen session tonight, right now. So there is guys at Yankee Stadium. They're outside. I don't know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen with the fans, but something's got to happen. They're either gonna play or they're not gonna play. So we'll figure that. We'll see how that all ends up playing out today. Also, one other thing to note tonight: Heat Nuggets Game 3 back in Miami. Nuggets small 3-point favorites, and the Panthers Vegas will resume tomorrow for Game 3 rather. Panthers look to even up the series. And, that'll do it for the podcast here today. I'll try to get a podcast in tomorrow. It's going to be tough scheduling-wise. I'll try to get one in. I'll definitely have one up, obviously, on Friday. Tomorrow's going to be, tough to get one out. But there is potential there. Scheduling could work out where I get one out there. But if not, I'll definitely be back Friday with a podcast, talking all things sports and keeping you up to date on all the latest. So that'll do it for the episode of the Bubbs on Sports podcast. As always, hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.